But Joakim, help me out here because you told me to change my core. My system fell apart. I'm not making any money.
Welcome to Architecture Corner. Today will our two guests, Wikstrand and Joakim Lindbom, talk about innovation, a topic that is more and more important to companies today.
Innovation is important. Why is it important? Because the world is changing. It's spinning. Well, the world is not spinning faster, but it feels like that because the level of patents. There are so many more patents. There are so many more inventions. There is much more disruptive change now than there used to be. Someone said, if you don't disrupt your business, someone will do it for you.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. The speed of innovation, or the speed of both technology on a hardware level, but also software level, means that there are so many new options available for you to assemble and to combine and to deploy into your organization and actually delivering new business value. And the point is that the speed is actually increasing. And also in combination with that, looking at the Moore's law and so on, where you have a constant change rate, most legacy organizations, they really don't have a way of handling this innovation at all and keeping so to say in sync with Moore's law. Startups, on the other hand, they can actually change in the same rate for some time, but most organizations are way too slow to do that.
When you did you know this? When you grow older, the lens of your eye continues to grow, and it becomes so big that your muscles can't pull on it anymore, and you can't change the focus as much as you could when you were younger. So it's the same muscles pulling on it, but it's much harder to pull.
But the ability to change it becomes less.
Yeah, because it's bigger.
Yeah.
So anything that is bigger is kind of inherently harder to change.
Yeah. That's very true, and I think also looking at most organizations I'm working with, they have a system landscapes that have been in place for 30, 40 years perhaps, and it has grown out of proportion. And by not decommissioning, by not doing this kind of rationalization and so on, they have really come to a point where the ability to change, even though the technology is very mature, it's quality-wise extremely good, but the ability to change, it has simply come to a point where it's approaching zero.
Joakim, I have an old book at home from Harvard Business Review, I think, Harvard University Press. Anyway, it's about e-commerce and how you can buy things that if you see something on TV that you like, you can instantly buy it. And it's from the 1980s. It's all based on Minitel VT220 terminals and so on. And there is nothing we're seeing now that is really different from what's in that book. So what we're seeing is not invention. It is not things that are new, but we are seeing innovation. That is new things. I mean, old things applied in new ways to create better results than what you had before.
In a new combination, in a new context, in a new business zone. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's really key to innovation, that you don't invent new stuff. You're not that kind of business that you just invent new fancy stuff, but rather applying what's there, applying in a new way, in a new situation, something which brings new value. That's innovation.
Joakim, I brought some Lego along to this discussion.
Yeah, of course, favorite.
Well, Lego is these pieces, these 2x2 squares. They have been around since the 1950s or something like that, 60s, yeah, 50, 60 years. And but when I put them together like this, quite possibly, I'm creating a whole that is different from what anyone else has ever built before.
Yeah, and that's custom built. And the same with my son. He's 9 years old. I mean, he's building Star Wars things today with his Lego, with this 50, 60 years old innovation, much older than Star Wars. So being able to use old technology or old stuff in a new standardized or fantasy way, that's basic.
And Lego, you can do it because it's built with interfaces that interconnect. And I can put a green piece like this on top of all the orange pieces. I take that, please. I brought this. This is a custom solution. This is one company dealing with mostly itself to produce a troll. I think it's a troll, and it's nice. There is only one color, and
it's standardized.
It's standardized, and it works in this company. But when I give it to you, it doesn't really go with your black shirt.
No.
Or maybe it does. Maybe it's my shirt. It doesn't go.
Whichever.
So innovation today is a lot about taking things that are yours, like this blue helicopter body, and putting on other pieces from other places that makes it turn. So somewhere I got these white rotors and the tail rotor from another company, and putting those together makes my helicopter. My fragile helicopter that flies much better than it would have with only my own pieces in it.
In a way, I mean, combining or integrating different pieces of software, I mean, that's something very old. It's been going around since the 60s. So that in itself is nothing new. But the point is that looking at what's happening right now or the last few years, lots in the area of APIs, meaning that you go from a point where doing an integration between two pieces is a piece of work taking weeks or months or even longer, going down to minutes. And I think this is really, really key, that you can actually access new functionality. You can add functionality to your helicopter, advanced and quality assured.
Maybe I want a radar. Can I have the radar?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Here's the radar. I'm putting a radar on my helicopter.
Yeah. And by just having this standardized interface, that meaning that these two pieces, they can interconnect and they can combine their functionality and they can interact without you adding any functionality. You have perhaps some kind of glue code. There is a few lines of code that combines them, and that's all. It's nothing taking months. It takes literally minutes to do this.
When people sit together in the same room.
Yeah, and when there is a basic standardization in place, which is actually relative today.
But some people say, Galileo Galilei, people were against him, but he was right. And people were against so and so, and he was right. And people are against me, so I must be right, right?
Exactly.
So I found this, it integrates several businesses. Mm-hmm. The yellow, the orange, the green, the black.
And different technologies used for that, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
I think...
what is it? What does it do? Nothing. It's broken.
Yeah, it is. And I think that...
It's a letterpress.
It could be a letterpress, yeah. But I think what we're seeing here, that's some kind of ad hoc architecture. And that's reality in most companies I see, that they have something which has been built over the decades, layer by layer, adding functionality by functionality with very narrow focus. And in the end, what you come up with is a monster. I mean, it's something which you really can't tame, you really can't handle it. It's something doing it, living its own life, and you really can't continue with it.
Yes. We talked about before about this company that had lots of Excel files in their source code tree, but they couldn't remove it, and it becomes like with this one, it's connected everywhere. So this is connected to your business partner and this other business partner and this business partner, and you don't want to make those unhappy. So you keep running it, and you have this cost, and
you just add the pieces to it, yeah.
Yeah, because maybe I could take the radar from the helicopter, and put it here. Now I have a radar on my.
And that's really good. But looking at...
Or is it a share?
It might be a share, yeah. But I think the point is that in this situation, with this Lego construction, it's quite easy to replace the radar. But if you want to change the piece in the very middle, if you want to change something in the core, you need to deconstruct everything. You need to break it down. Exactly. And that's really not an option for most companies. You really can't live with that. And that is going back to innovation, going back to change, that looking at the architecture of most bigger operations system landscapes, they are built in a way that will not accommodate for change. They might change on the edge. You can add layers, you can add functionality on the edge, but you really cannot change anything in the core.
But Joakim, help me out here, because you told me to change my core. My system fell apart. I'm not making any money, and I have all these pieces. I still need to keep paying interest on them. What should I do now?
I think you have two options. You either pick those up and reassemble them, but I think that's the bad option. The good option is that, in this situation, I think you have a really good situation for a fresh start. You need to do something in a structured way and to buy a basic core system or whatever which you build on with modern thinking, rather than trying to rearrange and trying to renovate this old crap.
Could I buy your helicopter?
You can lend it.
Okay.
But that's the new thing. You don't buy it. You lend or you rent it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone anyone with a credit card can buy as much cloud power as anyone else with a credit card.
That's true, and the time from when you take the decision of buying until you have the access, we're talking about extremely short time. So the ramp up time is close to zero.
So I read in the airline magazine about this company. Well, it wasn't a company, but they had invented this little piece of plastic that if you have a mountain bike, you put it under the saddle, and you don't get all the spray on your clothes. And people were asking, well, you know, that's really cool. Why are you not selling it? So they said, like, you know, maybe we should start a company and selling this piece of foldable plastic. So they needed manufacturing, they needed a web shop, logistics, and all of that. How long did it take them from when they had decided to start selling until they sold their first piece online?
I think we're talking about less than a day.
4 hours.
Hours, yeah.
4 hours. So, you know, if I'm going to reassemble this with my helicopter and the old pieces and create a new business, I'm going to spend years doing that.
And that's the point. I mean, we are seeing today an ability to apply functionality in a totally new way, or something which is customized for you without having to invent the pieces. The pieces are there. You just need to combine them.
Yes, and only add the parts that make you different. So I take this green little thing from my old system, I put it on the helicopter, and now I have vertical stabilizer. And you know, flying with my helicopter company is so much smoother than flying with other people's helicopter company, because they don't have that little piece that is my unique value add.
And that's true, but the point here is that you really need to have a situation where these pieces, they should fit together, going back to standardization, and that's where the space of APIs comes in. We today see a maturity in APIs, not only the standardization but also the competition, that if you buy this functionality or you rent it or whichever way, if there suddenly comes up something better, a new API which does this functionality in a better way, you have an ability to actually replace this functionality with something new and better, without reinventing everything.
But it doesn't have to come a new system. It's just that I become aware of it. So it doesn't have to be an invention. No. It's an innovation if I do my old things in a new and better way. Mm-hmm. And that's all it takes for it to be an innovation.
That's true.
It's new for me, and it's better for me.
Yeah, and it's better than your competition, and that's the point. Okay, so when talking about innovation, I think that we're not talking at all about invention, but it's rather applying functionality that is already there in a new way, which makes sense for you and which makes problems for your competition. That's innovation.
Thank you very much for your talk about innovation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've always been suspicious of using Lego as an example of real life work, but at least it was the most fun episode to shoot so far.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.